All right, Break the Box, we are officially back today. And I know that we have had some really cool guests that have come on today. But today I have a really special guest who is somebody that I just love doing life with, somebody that is a friend of mine, someone that I get to mentor, somebody that has really helped me in my last couple years of ministry. And so, Break the Box, will you help me welcome Alyssa Guerrero to the pod today? Hey,
Hello. Hi,
girl.
Break the Box fam. Thank you for
You're
having me.
I know. I'm so happy to have you on today, girl. I would love to share like details of like how things start. And I
hmm
remember like you were one of those people in the beginning that I also told about the podcast. And I was like, hey,
Yeah.
girl, I think I'm going to do this. I think it was even way before I had even actually, I'm just having this moment where I'm remembering, like, I had
Yeah.
felt like the Lord laid it on my heart, like, maybe
hmm
you should do this. And I remember in the office we were talking and I told you, and you were like, I was going to tell you, you should do something like that.
Yeah, yeah, I
Right? And
remember.
it was like
Yeah.
totally confirmation. I remember being like,
hmm
no way, you think I should do a podcast? You were like, yes, girl.
Yes, yes.
It
I was so
was,
excited when I heard that you
I
were gonna do it.
know. You were like
And now
hyping
it's the
me up.
best.
I
Of
know.
course.
Thank
Anytime.
you. But I
No,
needed
yeah.
that. Your generation and younger is like kind of was my target. And so
hmm
I even told this to your brother when he was on the pod. Just a
hmm
little context. Jacob, who was on a week ago, is Alyssa's brother.
Yes, he
Um,
is.
I was, he is,
And we're totally different, okay?
a
So
hundred
don't
percent.
don't think that I'm gonna be like him. Nope, we're complete
Very
opposite. Watch,
opposite.
you're gonna
It's
see.
very, very true. But I
hmm
remember like you guys were such a big part of just encouraging even me on the journey and like even little things like, what do you think? And how does this look? And so
Yeah. We were
we
so
had
excited.
Thank you. But it
Yeah.
was really cool because I knew eventually I wanted you guys to come on the podcast. And so it
Mhm.
was a great opportunity to just go, hey, let me get this thing off the ground. And
Yeah.
my whole concept, and you know this list is like, I wanted to like sit down and have conversations
hmm
here where
Yeah.
the world, that sounds so crazy, but it's true. The world could
Yeah.
hear, like you and I would
Real.
do. Like we would sit in my office and talk, or
hmm
we would sit on couches and just have conversations, and I would think like I want other people to hear these conversations because it's going to
Yeah.
help this generation. And so we're finally here and we're doing it, and I'm
Yeah.
so happy to have you on. So thank you
I'm
so much for coming
excited.
on today.
Thank you for letting me
Yes,
be on. This is
absolutely.
exciting.
And you wore leopard, which is my
I
favorite, so
know.
I
I
know
did it
you love
just
me
for
today.
her.
Thank
Yeah,
you, I feel
exactly.
loved. If you
If
don't
you
know
know
this,
me, yeah, if you know me, like what she's wearing is very me, very
yeah,
neutral
we're kind of
and
matched.
whites and beige. But no, today I was like, I'm gonna bring out the leopard just for
That's
Kalina because she
right.
loves leopard.
That's proof that like I've had an effect on you and you've had an effect on me
Yeah.
because I'm more neutrally now and you're like leopard. So I
It's
love.
so true. And it's so funny because she would always say that at the office. She would be like, Watch,
Yeah.
I'm gonna get you to wear patterns, or I'm gonna get you to wear colors. And I even told her, No, I'm gonna get you into neutrals, and we both did it.
We like switched each other a little
Yeah,
bit.
we
I
did.
know. But we need that. We need people in our lives to expand our like the way we
Yeah.
see things, you know? And so I love that so
Bring
much.
us outside the box.
Outside the box, girl. Exactly. So I want to jump into that. Like, okay, so
Mhm.
break the box. If you don't know this, Alyssa worked for us at the church for like a little over 4 years.
Yeah.
She originally came on to kind of be like an assistant, a helper of
hmm
mine. I was just really busy and she was in college, and so she had some hours and like came in and started helping. And then over like the course of a couple of years she wound up becoming like our children's director and an assistant to all the pastors and just kind of like a little bit of like everything. She was just such a blessing to us. And so we went kind of from knowing each other at church to like
hmm
really getting to know each other because
Yeah.
we were like spending hours together.
Yeah.
And like we have an office where like we share a room, so we have both of our desks in the same office. And so
hmm
I remember like you coming on, you were in college, you're this younger girl. Like I knew you, but I didn't really know you like in a really deep way. Like
Yeah.
what was that like? Were you like afraid to kind of like go work for a church? Were you kind of like, hey, I could give it a try? Like what was kind of the thoughts that went through your mind?
So honestly, I was afraid.
Yeah.
Um, but the cool thing is that like it happened in the perfect timing because
Hmm.
I was just thinking about this the other day. It was I believe my sophomore year in college or junior, one of those. And I was even thinking like and like praying about it too, like Lord, I think I need a part-time job. Like I'm going to school full time, but I think I need something on the side, especially to,
Mm.
meet my means and
Yeah.
make the money.
Yeah.
So I was like, what should I do? And of course, I was thinking retail, and it was just so random. Like I randomly got a text from Kalina saying like, "Hey, I need to talk to you," or "I want to talk to you about something, an opportunity,"
Hmm.
and I was like, "Yeah, sure." And so like we called, and she asked me the question like if I wanted to be her assistant, and
Hmm.
like gave me a list of things that I would be doing, and
Yeah.
like I was like so excited, and like even after the call, I think I even cried. I'm not gonna lie, I think I
Oh, I
cried.
love that.
Yeah, because I was just like I said, so excited, but also
Hmm.
knowing that that was like God, like all
It
God,
was like
because
a
like
hymn. Hmm.
yeah, like He answered a prayer that like I and like in a way that I wouldn't have even thought. Like
Right.
I would have not expected to get a
That to
job
happen.
like at a church.
At a
Yeah.
church, yeah.
So to be
Because you were
honest,
like a
I
newer believer, right? Like you'd only probably been
yeah.
saved like a couple of years.
Yeah,
Hmm.
I don't even think a couple,
Maybe
maybe
not even two.
even actually, yeah, maybe like approaching two, but
Okay.
not even like that long.
Yeah.
So yeah, I would have never thought of church. That wouldn't have been my ideal job if I'm
Yeah.
being totally honest,
Yeah.
but was the best thing that ever happened to
You
me.
do.
And yeah, he knew exactly
Mhm.
what I needed and who I needed in my life, and that was
Yeah.
Kalina.
I love
But
you.
but yeah, like honestly, it was scary,
It
and
was
I
a little
was
scary.
like, yeah, I was like, what am I even gonna do? Like,
Sure.
and I'm gonna be so real,
Hmm.
and I think that this can speak for other people as well. Like,
Yeah.
no one knows what really takes place in the church and like what work is required at a church. Like,
Yeah.
and that's how I went in thinking. I was like, what do you need to do at a church besides like get the chairs ready for service or get the coffee
Yeah.
ready, right?
Yeah.
But the truth is like there's so much that goes into it. Like so much. I know anyone who works in ministry and at a church can like attest to that,
Hmm.
but there's so much
Yeah.
stuff behind the scenes that happens
And
that
nobody
like
sees.
yeah, no one sees it
Hmm.
and no one even realizes it like
Yeah.
how much time and like effort everything takes. Like,
Yes.
so going into it, I was like, okay, sure, like this is probably gonna be boring, right? But no, not at all. I was so wrong.
You
Like,
hit the ground running. I was like, I
yeah,
had a list. It was good.
yeah, she had a long list too. I was like, oh, okay, like we're
Okay.
actually doing stuff. No,
Hmm.
but seriously, it was like the best thing, and like I learned so much.
Hmm.
Like it's just so cool because there's so many things that like I learned that I would have never thought I would learn,
Yeah.
and like even I truly believe it's shaped me into the person I am today, just like being able to be around Kalina and like learn from her because you guys know how amazing she is. You guys hear her on her podcast. But I got to spend like every week with her, a couple days every week with her, like learning from her, talking to
Oof.
her, all
Mhm.
that. Like
Yeah.
I got to learn from her a lot. And even taking the her pushing me out of my comfort zone
Yes.
so much. So that
That's
really
that's one of
pushed
the
me.
things I love the most is to help people like come out of their comfort zones. And so
Yeah,
you were
yeah,
like
she
this
does.
sweet, kind of soft spoken, like
Shy.
shy girl. And I remember
I
being
still
like, give
am,
her a
but
year and we're gonna just push her out of the
yeah.
nest, you know?
Yeah,
But
I think Kalina saw my future like way ahead than I did. I thought like, no,
definitely,
like this is just gonna be
definitely.
something small for a little bit, but no.
No, he
I
had
ended up
such a
working
plan.
there, yeah, for almost 4 years, and like I said, the
It was
best
so
four
great.
years ever. And
Yeah.
I again I learned so much, and like
Mm.
it even like taught me so much. So
Yeah.
yeah,
Oh, I'm so
it's just
glad. I'm glad that
yeah.
it was a good experience for you. Like
Mm-hmm.
I want to share this. Like I remember we were like looking for help. Like and we were trying to be
Mm-hmm.
really careful because I'll be honest, like if you
Yeah.
tell people you want help, you're always gonna get people who volunteer. But I
Mm-hmm.
know my personality. I
Yeah.
know what was on my plate. I knew what I needed. I knew I needed somebody, not in a harsh way, but like I knew it couldn't be someone like I was already super close with friendship wise,
Mm-hmm.
because I'm like, I gotta be able to be like, I need you to do this, and this. And sometimes that
Yeah.
gets awkward. I
Yeah.
knew I needed somebody I like respected and could work well with me,
Mm-hmm.
but I also needed someone who could get some stuff done. And so
Yeah.
we were like thinking of lots of options. And I
Mm-hmm.
remember to this day, I was like, I was leading worship and I came off of the stage and I went into my office for a minute, I think to like take off my inner ear monitors.
Mm-hmm.
And I literally told the Lord, like, I just need you to show me like who we're supposed to have on the team. And like
Yeah.
clear as day, I remember the Lord telling me what you have need of is already in the house. You're just not
Mm-hmm.
seeing it. And I was like,
Mm.
what I have need of is in that, like clear as day. He was like, what you
Yeah.
have need of is already here in this house. Like, cause we were even talking to like people at like other churches and stuff. He was
Yeah.
like, it's here. And I remember being like, okay,
You're
Lord, you're
like,
gonna
I
have
don't
to
see
show me then,
it.
because
Yeah.
like I need to know. And then like I just prayed, and like clear as day, he was like, talk to Alyssa. And like
Hmm.
again, I knew you, but I didn't know you
Yeah.
in that way. But like it was the
Yeah.
Lord going, I have a divine appointment, and there's some things I want to
Hmm.
do for her. So like stop looking for other people. Like she's here. She's right.
Yeah.
She's
And
right
that's
here.
so cool. Yeah.
Hmm.
It's so cool. I remember her telling me that not even
Yeah.
like when it happened, but like
Like
pretty
later.
recent. Yeah, like
Hmm.
years later that
Yeah.
you told me. And again, like it was like you said, a divine appointment because
Yep.
he knew the plans he had for me
Yep.
and for you. And like we both like
Yep.
help each other so much. And like you said, we didn't even really know each other. So I think
Mm-mm.
that's what I was afraid of too. I was like,
Yeah.
like,
Like, is she
cause
crazy? I don't even know if
yeah,
I'm gonna
yeah.
like her.
Yeah, exactly. Like, are we gonna clash? Is it gonna be weird? But no,
I
honestly,
know.
Kalina's the best person to work with. Like,
Oh,
I
thank you.
miss her
I
being
miss
my
you
coworker. I will
too.
always say that my coworkers at church were the best coworkers ever. Like, I don't even think anyone can ever top that.
And I
But
appreciate that because
yeah,
I'm low key a little grouchy sometimes, and I'm very like an
no,
aggressive personality. So like I love that you still love me after all of
of
these years,
course,
because it's
yeah,
a
no.
lot.
I think our personalities worked well with each
I think
other.
so too.
Like we
Hmm.
always said that. Like
Yeah.
you're more of like get things done and like I'm
Yep.
gonna tell you what to do and
Hmm.
I'm okay with doing whatever you ask me to
Yeah.
do. Like of course as long as it's
Within
reasonable and
means. Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
But like
But
yeah,
it's true.
like
We had a
pretty
really good
chill.
like mix where I could be like, "Hey, I just need you to handle all this stuff, and I don't even have time
Yeah.
to explain it." And you just be like, "Okay, cool." And like, you
Yeah.
also don't. You're not. I don't know if I ever told you this. You're not easily like offendable. Like I could just be
Yeah.
like, "Hey, girl, I don't have a lot of time, but da 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 da. This is what I need." And you'd be like,
Hmm.
"Okay." Instead of not like, you didn't ask me how my day was going." Like you weren't like
Yeah.
overly sensitive. And I think there were some days like we could obviously talk more and have
Yeah.
conversations, but there were some days we just honestly sat in the office and
Life
like
just
handled
happened.
scandal and like just did it. And so
Yeah.
it was so the Lord. But what I loved about it was, okay, so you come to the church, you didn't
Hmm.
expect it. I feel
Yeah.
like the Lord draws you in. You wind up working for
Hmm.
us. And then I just start to like see this growth in you. I start to see you like
Yeah.
talking a little bit more. I started to see you coming out of the box. I started seeing you like even just like feel excited to like help on projects, not just
Yeah.
like just be there, but to like really show up and like help them. And
Hmm.
so like I saw this like shift in you where I could tell you were like really starting to pursue the Lord, and like I
Yeah.
could see that hunger changing. Like, will you talk a little bit about like what that looked like for you? Like you came into church in like your college age years. Like you did
Yeah.
not know the Lord previous to
Yeah.
that. So like
No.
what was even kind of that thing where you went from like just coming to the church because you were coming, and then
Hmm.
when you really started to be like, okay, I think Lord, there's like actually a relationship here with you that I really
Yeah.
want.
Yeah. I think honestly, just realizing that no matter what, like he was always there, and whether I believed in him or not, like he was always there for
Yeah.
me and like through with me through everything.
Yep.
And I just started seeing like things happen in my life, like
Hmm.
I guess we could say like prayers being answered and
Yep.
like just him showing me his presence. Like that happens so much in service as like a new believer, like the
Yeah.
feeling and the presence of God. It still happens to this day, but like
Yeah.
it was just because it's so new back
Yeah.
then, like at that time, it just felt like, what is this? Like there's no denying that this
Yeah.
is like not real, right?
Yeah.
So it was just like feeling that and knowing that
Mhm.
this is like so different. Like this is nothing
Yeah.
like I've ever felt before.
Yeah.
Those times in worship like really got me, if I'm being honest. And like even just asking him, like, Lord, reveal yourself to me, like show me your presence. I want to feel you right now. And just like the warmth and like
Yep.
feeling him literally hug me, like that was game
Those were those
changer for
shifts,
me.
huh? Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, like
And I
shifts.
remember
And
you
then
being like, "I was just crying in worship because I felt
yeah,
him," and I'd be like, "Okay, cool, like, she's
yeah.
experiencing the Lord, this is real."
Yeah, for sure. I was like so many times, and like even in the beginning, like I would just hear worship songs, and it was like, oh my gosh, why am I crying? I don't get it. But then, like even now,
Mhm.
I realize that it's because like the words just
Yeah.
they hit so hard because
Mhm.
one, you've either been through it or
Yeah.
you're going through it, or
Mhm.
like you can just relate on a whole other
Totally.
level. It's just like this is how I feel about you, Lord, or this is how you make me feel right now. And
Yeah.
like, I just want to declare this to you. I just want to
Mhm.
worship to you.
Absolutely.
But also, I would say being able to be alongside you so much, like,
Mhm.
gave me a role model in a way because like we said, like I did not grow up in church. I started going to church in like 2020.
Yeah.
And before that, I had no idea what it was like to believe in Christ, to
Mhm.
pray even. Like I had an idea of prayer, but it's
Mhm.
nothing like my prayers
Nothing is
now.
today. Yeah.
Yeah, no. So yeah, just like having that role model and seeing like, oh my gosh, like this is how she does it, or and not
Mhm.
that I was trying to copy you in any way. It was just like I
No.
have an idea of what I'm supposed to
Yeah.
do now. Like I have a like a role model,
Yeah.
like and
Absolutely.
it was just like kind of it made it more easy and more worth it.
Mhm. Yeah.
Like I want to be like Kalina one day, like, and again, not in a weird way, not in a copying way. It's just
No,
like
yeah.
I see how much you pursue the Lord. I see how
Mm.
faithful you are and how like loving you are even to other people. Like I wanted that for my life too, in my own way. And I know that God is doing that to me in
Yes.
my own way.
Mhm.
And but yeah, like it was just
But I think
there's
too,
so
like,
many moments.
this goes back to like even what we were saying of like that divine appointment. Like
Mm-hmm.
I had been praying, like, Lord, I want to be used like in my life to make a difference. God, I
Yeah.
want to not just do church and the stuff, like I want to like make an impact. And then
Mm-hmm.
I think you were one of the first people that I really felt like I was always pouring into people and like
Yeah.
encouraging younger generation. Like that
Mm-hmm.
was always a natural for me. But I think when you started working with us, at first I thought
Mm-hmm.
you were just filling a need, like, oh, God's filling a need, you know? But
Yeah.
I realized really quickly, like, I don't even remember when, I think it was like during a service or something, something happened. And it was almost like I could see you like sped up years farther. And I
Mm-hmm.
felt this like she's here because she's supposed to learn and grow with you. And you're
Yeah.
supposed to have this relationship because you're going to pour into her and like there's going to be these things that come out. And so
Mm-hmm.
it was really cool because you came in a season when I really needed help.
Yeah.
Like just for the pod, just for reference, like it was one of
Mm-hmm.
those years when I was like really hitting like extreme anxiety and was like
Yeah.
really struggling
Yeah.
like privately. And so
Mm-hmm.
you actually kind of got to see a lot of that because
Yeah.
I was like in that struggle, but yet the Lord like showed up with this support for me that I
Mm-hmm.
needed in that season. And then
Mm-hmm.
even out of that was like, hey, but I'm going to use you to like also help cultivate some things inside of her. And so
Yeah.
for me, it was like such a beautiful experience. I thought it was just you coming to work for the church. But then
Yeah.
I look at it now and
Same.
was like, oh my gosh, like she had such, we know now you have such a call of God on your life and so
Yeah.
much he wants to use you in. Like I look
Mm-hmm.
back and go, oh Lord, I see what you did there. Like I see what
Yeah,
you was doing.
like it's just so cool because
Hmm.
like you said, like I also thought I'm just filling a need, and
Yeah.
I thought it was only temporary. Like I
Yeah.
was like, oh, this is not gonna go longer than a year. Like I'm gonna get a real job after a year,
Yep.
but no, like that
Mm,
was a real job, and like I
yeah.
said, like no one knows what goes on, and until you're in ministry, don't judge until
Yeah.
you're inside it.
Until you
But
ran a program or a department
yeah.
or an event, like, don't
Mm-hmm.
judge, like, we get this all the time, "What do you do all day?" And I'm
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
I
Like
wish I could
we
even
do a
explain to you
lot.
how much we do." Yeah.
Yeah. And it's funny because like for example at a retail store, like, oh, I stock stuff, or I
Mm,
scan, or I'm at the register, right?
yeah.
But at a church it's a little bit of everything, so you can't even explain like what you do all day, right?
I
Like
think that's
it
why
would
it's so
confuse
hard.
someone.
Like, yeah, we do
Yeah,
things like we prep for services and
right.
administration and communication and, like,
Mm-hmm.
production for, like, social media, but, like, there were days that we were like, "Hey, we gotta clean out the storage, and we
Yeah.
gotta haul stuff from the baptism over, and then we gotta go get
Yes.
some tanks and fill that," and you'd be like, "Okay, you don't" like, how do you even explain that to people? You're just
Yeah.
like and then in
Or
between, you're
like we
getting
gotta
phone
paint these
calls.
walls. Yeah. Yeah,
Like, you're getting
exactly.
a
Or
phone
people
call
knocking
or
on the door like, I need prayer today for this.
yes.
Like,
Yes.
yes. But
There's never like a really like a breather day. It's just
mm-mm.
going, okay, God, what do we need to do to get services done? And then also we're running with people and people don't
Yeah.
have a time frame. So like they're
Mm-hmm.
always gonna be like, hey, I need you, I need this. Can you pray for me? Can you come visit me? Can you come to the hospital?
Yeah.
But then like you
Mm-hmm.
said, it was cool for you to see all the
Yeah.
behind because then I think too you had so much more respect when we would do
Exactly.
things. You're like, I will
Yeah.
never show up to an event and judge nobody because I know how
Mm-mm.
much work it took to like
Yeah.
put it on. So I
Yeah,
think it
like
was
it
good.
definitely gave me a greater respect and appreciation for like everything
Yeah.
that you guys do. And
Thank you.
but yeah, like just
Mm,
like going back on me thinking that I was just gonna fill a spot.
mhm.
No, it became so much more than that. Like I
Yeah.
learned how to like I you allowed me to be run the department of the kids
Yeah,
ministry, and that taught me so much alone, like just
huge.
being able to speak into kids, like
Mhm.
I would have never thought, like never in a
You'll be running
million years.
children's ministry for a
Yeah.
church, no.
And if I'm being honest, like that's one of the main things that I think about a lot during worship, and that
Mhm.
gets me. Like it literally
Oh,
makes me tear up. The fact that like I would have never thought I'd be serving the Lord.
yeah.
Like ever. Like I had my idea of God, but like it was not good. And like I even
Yeah.
said like and I think you heard this for the first time maybe last year, that I even remember having a conversation with my mom like I don't need to believe in God. Like I have my own relationship with God. Like it's whatever, you know?
Yeah.
But no, like once I started coming to church and like I said, him presenting himself to me
Yeah.
and making himself so real, and just even
Yeah.
all that I learned while working there, just I will never go back to that life. Like I
Mm.
will never go back to
Yeah.
life without the Lord, and I mean that with
Yeah.
all my heart, and he knows too. And like that that's what makes life worth living now. That's what
Yep.
makes like whatever's gonna happen next
Yeah.
worth the wait,
Absolutely.
because it gets hard sometimes to like, well, I don't know what your plan is for me, Lord, but
Yeah.
it really doesn't matter because I know it's gonna be good because look at what happened. Like I
He already
trusted
had it.
him. Yeah,
Absolutely.
he already
And this
had
is the
like
cool thing, like
years.
you didn't have to get saved when you were 5. Like
Yeah.
you lived basically most of your life and you were in your young adult years and the Lord
Hmm.
was like, that's my kid and I'm gonna pull her in.
Yeah.
And not only am I gonna pull her in, but I'm gonna put her around people and like she's gonna get
Hmm.
equipped for the kingdom. Like it's proof that God's not looking for like you have to serve God for 10, 20 years before
Yeah.
he will use you or see you or want you. Like
Hmm.
he wants everybody and he doesn't care
Yeah.
whether you've been in kids church your whole life or
Hmm.
you're like 48 years old and you just got invited to church. Like
Yeah.
Alyssa's proof that God loves you and he sees you and he's pulling everybody in to go, I don't
Hmm.
care where you've been or how you've been raised. I have a
Yeah.
place for you here. And so
Yeah.
I love that because you example that so well. And so we just recently launched this really cool mentoring group for young
Yes.
adults, and I'd already kind of been I think you were like my first mentee because I was already kind of
Hmm.
like mentoring you on the Sabbath,
Yes.
and then
Yeah.
I remember saying like, okay, Liz, like I feel like God is calling me to like really pour into this next generation. Like I'm thinking
Hmm.
about launching this mentoring group, and we did it on the DL because it's
Yeah.
just easier to start things kind of like
Hmm.
not with everybody knowing,
In
and
a
so
hidden
we
place.
Yes, in the hidden place. And so we started young adults, we started this mentoring, and then before I know it, you guys are literally preaching your first messages on a Wednesday night. And like
Yeah.
honestly, like when you preach, I was so excited because I feel like it had been such a long time coming. Like it was only a few years,
Yeah.
but like
Hmm.
we had had so many conversations. Like I
Hmm.
knew the Lord had already told me like she has a massive call on her life. Like
Hmm.
she's going to be used for the goodness of God. And I knew that
Hmm.
would come. I just didn't even know like how soon it
Yeah.
would kind of shift. And so
Yeah.
when you got up on stage to preach a week ago, I was like so over the moon excited.
Me
I was like, and
too.
remind everybody, how old are you, Alyssa?
I'm 23. Gonna be
Okay, so
24 soon,
so
so
she's 23
oh,
going on 24 and like
hmm
hasn't even like what served Jesus for like 4-ish, maybe
yeah.
five
Like this
years.
is probably gonna be my fifth year,
Your
maybe.
5th year, right?
Yeah.
And, like, you get up on in front of an entire congregation and
Hmm.
you preach this incredible message about how the power of the hidden place, how, like,
Hmm.
God will work in this, like, behind the scenes to prepare you
Yeah.
for what's coming, and it literally like, watching you was so beautiful, but it also
Hmm.
was, like, literally something you lived. Like,
Yeah.
you preached a message that you lived. So will you talk a little bit about what that means? Like, what does it mean that God will use us, but he also prepares us in the hidden places?
Yeah. This might tie into it, but I just want to mention something like
Yeah.
as you were saying that you knew like you heard from God that he
Mhm.
had a calling for my life, and obviously I know that too, but sometimes it's hard to believe when you don't
Yeah.
see anything
Yeah.
happening. But little did I know he was always working behind the scenes, like in my hidden life, when no one else was watching, he was
Yep.
working in me, and like
Yep.
that means so much to me. But a
Mhm.
little thing that I don't even think I've told you, but
Oh, I love
uh
secrets on the pod when they come out.
yeah,
It's my
I know,
favorite.
but it's not a big secret, but it's
Okay.
just like a cool moment that like even the Lord brought to remembrance to me even
Yeah.
last week after. But so about a year ago, I would
Mhm.
say like early last year, January, we started going to the young adults at One and All, right?
Mhm.
And so I had saw they have a girl pastor, her name is Marissa, love her. I had saw
Mhm.
her and she was preaching, and I was like, "Oh my gosh, like Lord, I would love to do that. Like I would love
Mhm.
not to be her, but to be able to
Like to
do
be
that
like
because
that.
it's for
Yeah.
young adults. Yeah, it's
Love it.
specifically targeted I believe it's like 18 to 25 or
Yep.
something like that, or to 30, I might be wrong.
Yeah.
But anyway, just to be able to talk and like share my story and like
Mhm.
share the word of God and like teach them the word of God, I was like, oh my gosh, Lord, I would love to do that. But like I never thought I would be doing that, right?
Yeah.
And like obviously the whole time the Lord was prepping me for that and knew exactly what I needed. And I thought like like almost a year later, he allowed me to do that. And I just thought like I
How
sat
wild.
back when he brought that to my mind, like, and I was like,
Mhm.
oh my gosh, Lord, like
Yeah.
you did it. Like only you. And like I would have never thought in like if he would have told me last year, a year later, that's gonna be
You're
you,
gonna
I
get
wouldn't
preaching on
have
the
believed
stage.
him.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I would have been like,
Yeah.
I don't know about that one, God. Yeah, no, but like literally that's what he did. And like it's
So
just
cool.
so cool. Like only God, literally
Yeah.
only God. And
And
like
it, and I even kind of commented that without knowing that to you after you
yeah.
preached. I was like, I think I left you a voicemail and I said, I
Mm-hmm.
was like, do you remember when you used to go to your young adults at One and All and like at the other church when they have their big group and there was that girl you liked? I was like, you're
Mm-hmm.
gonna be like that, Alyssa. You are
Yeah.
that. And you were like, really? But like it was
Yeah.
just the Lord saying, like, I know that even you've seen people and went, how? How is God gonna
Mm-hmm.
use me? How could I be on a stage? How could I be speaking in front of people? And it was
Yeah.
like, even in a year, you were that person preaching that message, killing it, and like other people are looking up to you going, "Oh my gosh, how cool. I wish I could do that like Alyssa." Like, isn't that
Yeah.
crazy how in a moment when you surrender to the Lord, he doesn't care
Mm-hmm.
how long you've been serving him
Mm-mm.
or how perfect you are or what you have
Mm-mm.
together. Just in that surrender, he went, "If you'll let me use you, I will." And like it was just such a
Yeah.
cool moment to watch. I was so
Really,
proud.
it was. And like little did I know throughout the whole year he was preparing me for this
Big
moment.
time.
Like last year I ran VBS all by myself for the
Woo,
most part.
Vacation
Like,
Bible
yeah,
School.
um, you helped me, of course, with a lot of it, but like you made me do all the talking on stage. And
Mhm.
although it's kids, I'm a very shy person. I
Yeah.
hate public speaking.
Mhm.
So that was very nerve-wracking for
Yeah.
me, but I did it. And like that just showed me like he was
Yeah.
preparing me to even be on the stage. Like he was
Mhm.
preparing me to be able to teach people and like share the word of God with people.
Yep.
And even just little moments like he in that hidden life that
Yep.
no one saw. And like hours I spent praying with him and like even just journaling to him and um like you said, surrendering to him and submitting to him. Like no one saw that, but it made me who I am today and it
Yep.
brought me to the place that I'm at today. And like that's why I love my message so much. Like it
Mhm.
spoke to me so much even preparing for it because
Mhm.
it's true. Like there's a lot of things that we do as believers that
Yep.
no one sees. And I
Yep.
emphasize that in my message that like, we could do the prayers, we could do the devotionals, we could do the time quiet time
Yeah.
with the Lord, but that's stuff that no one sees unless we post it. And that's something that
Yeah.
like I realized too that like it the Lord wants to spend time with just you. He doesn't
Yep.
want to spend time with you and your phone. He doesn't want to spend time with you in a
Mhm.
little Instagram post or
Come
to
on.
make it come out of an Instagram post, Like
Yeah.
he just wants that quiet time with
Yep.
you because that's how you grow your relationship with him and
Yep.
that's how you
Yep.
learn to trust him. That's how I learned to trust him and have faith in him. Like there was something that I was praying for so hard for so long and like of course when it didn't happen right away I was like what am I even doing? Like why am I
Yeah.
even praying for this? But I continued and like because I literally felt the Lord just tell me like keep praying. How much do you want? And like keep showing me
Mhm.
and keep showing up
Yeah.
also. And I did and like he met me like he showed me that those prayers did not go to waste and like that's something so true. Like none of your prayers go to waste in that hidden
Mm-mm.
life. Everything that you do in that hidden life does
Yep.
not go to waste. Like he uses it all for his good and like
Right.
it may seem like it in the moment where like you're like why am I even doing this or this is
Why is this worth
pointless.
it? Yeah.
Yeah, there's nothing going to come out of this, but I can guarantee you that something's going to
Will
come out
come
of
out
it.
of it.
Like yeah, something.
Yeah.
It may be little, but hey, little things matter just as much as the big things.
And that's the thing. I think like sometimes we think like God, like let's say you have a prayer, like, hey, I want God to use me. And we think
Yeah,
like, how do I get on a stage? How do I get on a big team? How do I run something? Sometimes it's
yeah.
as simple as like serving in a department, being in the
Mm-hmm.
nursery, or
Yeah.
showing up to help someone. Like when you were planning VBS, Vacation Bible School, you
Mm-hmm.
weren't like getting Instagram posts and likes,
Yeah,
and you weren't,
no.
oh, look, it did a little like on the video. um, you weren't getting all of that. You weren't getting the
Yeah,
hype.
no.
You were putting in all of this work for kids who pretty much like have a blast and then go, okay, bye.
Mm-hmm.
Like they're not even giving you the rewards, right? That we would normally
Yeah.
look for. And
And
yet
like even
God,
the parents don't see it. Like the parents don't
no.
see all the hard work and even
Nope.
that VBS, like they don't see all that we did. They just drop off their kids,
They drop off
right?
the kids and like,
Mm-hmm.
thanks for the plug. But
Mm-hmm.
then God sees those things, is what you're
Yeah.
saying. And like in
Yeah.
those moments, he's like, look, she's showing up. Look, she put
Mm-hmm.
just as much effort into this lesson as
Yeah.
if she was giving it to the adults. Like
Yeah.
she's not like cheating the system because it's a lot
Yeah.
of work. Like she's giving all of that that to the kids. This is the cool thing
Hmm.
is that I think God watches us more in those moments than
Yeah.
when he watches the stage, because like even the Bible says like these are my little children. Like will
Hmm.
you pour into them? I think
Hmm.
sometimes when we do the things when nobody sees, when we
Yeah.
show up to clean at the church, when we showed up to like unload storage, when we set up
Yeah.
chairs, when
Hmm.
we're tired and we like stayed to take out trash. Like I actually think those are those moments when God
Yeah.
goes, "Where's your heart really at?" And
Hmm.
unfortunately, most of us
100%.
just want to be seen. So we just go,
Yeah.
"One day I'm going to be head of this, or I get to do this, or I get to be on the stage to do this, or I get to run
Yeah.
this." And like while those things can be cool, I think you said it perfectly. Like it's those quiet times that nobody sees with you and the Lord that matter.
Yeah.
That's what cultivates a real relationship. Like I
Yeah.
taught you some skills and I gave you what I felt like I could to show you who Jesus was, but I
Hmm.
could not force you to have a relationship. I could not
Yeah.
force you to get personal with him. Like
Hmm.
you had to put that work in on your own time. But
Yeah.
because you did in that
Hmm.
season, God went, and then before you knew it, it was like you never expected to be the outspoken preacher
Yeah.
who like gets, and you don't know this about Elizabeth, she's super prophetic, like totally hears the Lord's
Aw.
fire. Like you didn't see that, but
Yeah, no, not
God
at
saw
all.
all the things that you were being faithful in, and He went,
Yeah.
"She's ready." Like, isn't that
And
kind of wild?
yeah, like it is, and going back to what you were saying about how like people just want to be seen and being on the
Mhm.
stage and like
Yep.
preaching, worshiping, whatever it is.
Yeah.
That's why in my message too, I emphasize that like,
Yep.
in the Bible it says that we're supposed to seek approval of God and not approval of man, and that's
There you go.
so important to me. And like I said, like God brought that to life to me. Like
Yeah.
he even questioned like, who are you seeking approval from, like the world and the church, or are you seeking approval from me? And like I realized I ultimately want to seek approval from you. I don't care what anyone else thinks, but
Yep.
the world makes us want to care what everyone else thinks. And
Sure.
sometimes it's hard to just seek God's approval, but I'm growing and learning in that. And still to this day, like I'm trying to be reminded of that and just do good in
Yeah.
that. But like I ultimately I just want to seek approval from God, right? And I
Mhm.
and I encourage everyone else
Yeah.
to do that too. Like we just got to seek God's approval, and once we do that, like he's satisfied, like he's
Mhm.
happy. And then also like I realize too in those moments that God's like, if you ask him for something
Mhm.
and you're like, I want to be on the worship team or I want to preach up there,
Yeah.
he's looking at what you're doing with what you have right now and how faithful you are
Come
and
on.
what you're in right now. And I
Oof.
realize that
Mhm.
like if I want something, I gotta show God that I'm happy where I'm at and I'm faithful. Not like when I get to there, when I start doing that,
Oh,
like
good.
I'll pray to you more,
Yeah.
Lord, or I'll journal, or I'll spend more time with you. Like, no, he's more
Do it
interested in
now.
like, yeah, like
Yep.
what are you gonna do in this place right now when no one sees you, no one sees what you're doing? How are you gonna show up for me? And in those moments, one, you grow, and two, you just show God you're in it for him and not for, again, you're not seeking approval from anyone else but him.
Mm.
And that's what matters to him.
Yep.
When the Lord knows our heart. So
Yeah.
if we want to do it just for someone else's
For
attention or
show.
for the yeah, for show,
Mhm.
he's not gonna give it to you. Let me tell you, he's not gonna do it. But
No.
once he knows that no, my daughter or my son is in it for me and wants to show give glory to me and only wants my approval,
Yeah.
that's when it'll happen. And that's in those moments, I mean in those quiet times, in that hidden life, that's when that
Yep.
happens. Like you learn that and you grow in that. But yeah,
I love that girl. See, this is my
thank
little
you.
preacher coming out. I love that.
um
I just
I
like
learned from the best though.
no, I just love seeing like that you've caught like this is who I
Yeah.
am in the Lord. And that kind of goes into this next part, which I want you to talk about for a minute, is like
Hmm.
one of the things you mentioned in your message that hit me so hard. Like this was something I had never heard anybody preach before. And I was like, okay,
Hmm.
girl. Was you talked about how like Jesus didn't even start his ministry until he was
Hmm.
like 33. So like he
Yeah.
lived all these years
Hmm.
where he didn't get to do anything. But you talked about how like when he was a teenager and he was baptized and like God looked at him and said like
Hmm.
my dearly beloved son who I'm proud of. And you
Yeah,
like
I'm
even just
pleased with you.
right, yeah, like you talked a little bit about how like even before we've done the stuff, like
Hmm.
we've preached the messages or given the words or did the talks or led the Bible study, like even just learning to be seen by God as his son and
Hmm.
daughter is there's already value there. It already helps you in that journey. Will you talk a little bit about like even kind of like how you kind of like came to that and like how that was so important for you to like bring that across in your message?
Yeah, so obviously I was doing a lot of research and like
Yeah.
Jesus's life before he even started doing all these miracles. And
Yeah.
I was in Luke a lot, like Luke 2 and Luke 3, and Luke 3 is where it's mentioned, uh Luke 3:22 specifically, I believe. But yeah, I was reading that and I was like, oh my gosh, like that's amazing
Yeah.
that God even it says that he ascended from heaven and like came into, I think it was like a dove or a bird, I forgot.
The
Don't quote
dove.
me.
Yeah, the dove.
Yeah. And like that's what came and spoke to Jesus and like reminded him of that like you are my dearly beloved
Love it.
son and I'm pleased with you.
Mhm.
And I just thought like, oh my gosh, like we need to hear that because
Yep.
we think that one, we think no one sees us when we're in these quiet times or in this
Mhm.
hidden life. We think we're not being seen, but
Yeah.
the truth is, even if you're not being seen by everyone else, like the church or your family or
Yep.
whoever maybe that you want the approval from, we that verse reminds me that I'm still being seen by God and God
Yep.
sees everything
Yep.
and that he's proud of me. He's pleased with me.
Yep.
He's happy with what I'm doing
Yep.
even before I do the stage stuff, even
Yep.
before I lay hands on anyone, even before I can heal, you know? Like
Yep.
God's pleased with us and proud of us in that moment. And I just felt like that was very important for
Yeah.
everyone to hear because I think we get so in our head about like is God really happy with me because I'm still stuck in this or I'm still dealing with this, you know, like,
Yep.
or I still haven't forgave him for this or
Yeah.
whatever the case may be. We get so stuck in our head about like, is God really proud of me? But
Yeah.
the truth is like that verse alone proves that he is
Yep.
way before anything else, way before you do anything. And I just thought it was so powerful and like worthy of being shared
Yeah.
because yeah, like I honestly had never even I've read it, but like gave it
It
that
never
much
like hit
thought.
that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, it never
Yeah.
hit the way it
Mhm.
did that night when I was preparing my
Yeah.
message and I was like, "Oh my gosh, like
When you
you're
said it, I
proud of
was
me."
like, I never thought that like before, because this was like before Jesus did any of the miracles,
Yeah,
he
like
was like,
teenager.
"You are my son, and I'm so pleased." And like, I
Mhm.
love that you just pointed that out because you were saying like, "Hey, like God wants you to do great things. He wants you to be
Mhm.
used, but even before you do anything, He
Yeah.
sees you and loves you." Like, it's almost like you saying like when you first came on to work for the church and you were just Lissa giving it a whirl, right?
Mhm.
He loved you just as much and was proud of you as you are when you preach on the stage today. Yes, he's
Yeah.
so glad you're walking in your calling and there's things that come with it, but it's
Mhm.
not like he goes, when you get on the stage, then that's my girl.
Yeah,
Like
no.
he's like, you're already my girl from the beginning. Like, and when you
Mhm.
let that settle, you're not trying to
Mhm.
achieve this love or like work your way towards it. You do
Yeah.
things out of love. Like, God, I love you so
Yeah.
much. I want other people to know that.
Yeah.
That's what puts you on stages. That's what gives you opportunities. But when you
Mhm.
sit in the like, he already loves me in this, there's
Yeah.
almost like this weight that comes off of you to feel like you
Yeah.
have to perform or you have to
Yeah.
be. You just get to like
Mhm.
sit with Jesus and go, even if I don't do anything else but just love him and
Yeah.
just serve him, that's enough. Like to
Yeah.
me, that was like so powerful. I was like, Lord, I receive that too.
Yeah, and that's why like I emphasize that part so much in my message
Yeah.
too that like the Lord is happy with you, the Lord is proud of you, and like whoever is listening to this, like
Yeah.
I say that over you too. Like the
Come on.
Lord is proud of you and the Lord is happy with you
Yep.
just the way you are right now. Like not when you're perfected, not when you get it your crap together, you know,
Nope.
no. Like right now
Right now.
in whatever you're in, like the Lord is proud of you
Come
and he wants you to know that. And believe it, like take that in and like I need to even take it in for myself. Like I like I said, we get so wrapped in our head sometimes that we forget that all
Yep.
he really cares about is his relationship with us
Relationship
and
with
like
us.
us showing up to like praying to him in the morning, you know, like waking up and saying like, hey God, thank you for another day. Like
Yep.
it even though you're going through that sin, you know, whatever it may
Yep.
be, and I'm talking, I know this is mainly for the younger
Younger
generation.
generation.
Yeah, like whatever it is that you
Come on.
feel you're in right now and like is not good enough or you're not worthy to be loved by God, that is a lie from the enemy.
Yep.
You are so worthy of being loved and the Lord wants you to know that. And that is why that verse is so powerful and so important because he loves you in the middle of your storm. He
Yep.
loves you in the middle of whatever it is you're going through
Yep.
and I feel like I'm saying the same thing over, but I just want
No.
it to be emphasized, like
But it's just hitting,
literally.
like, that's
Yeah.
the power of Jesus is, like, he will do things and use you to do things you never expected,
Yeah.
but he also already loves you now and just wants you, and so there's no
Mm-hmm.
expectation, there's just a relationship, and when you give
Yeah.
him the yes, he'll take you to places you never thought, but, like, he
Mm-hmm.
already loves you now, and that to me is, like, the power statement of a
Yeah.
relationship with Jesus, and so
Yeah, for
I
sure. Like
love that
never
so
think you're too far gone. Never think that, oh,
can't
I'm
save you.
yeah, like I'm not doing
Mhm.
good right now, so like the Lord's not happy with me,
Nope.
or you must be upset, Lord. Like, no, it's never like
No.
that. Like in
No.
fact, he's proud that you're even coming to him and admitting your sin to
That
him.
you're even
Like,
showing up. Yeah.
yeah.
Well, we even talked about that a little bit on the podcast with your brother.
Mm-hmm.
Like he was showing up to church like, I don't even know, and I'm not really making
Mm-hmm.
good. And he was like, and the Lord met me, like
Yeah.
that's proof that God's not like, he's not like taking account of all your sins. Like, oh, we're on level 7. Like he just isn't like that. I think we
And we
portray
think
him so
so.
poorly,
Yeah. Mm-hmm. We
like God's
do.
in
We
heaven,
think,
like winding
yeah.
down all your like stuff. And you're like,
Yeah,
no, he's not
like,
even
oh, so and so did a level 10 sin right now.
level
Like,
12.
no, we don't
No,
even have levels, like
no,
nothing,
no.
nothing, no levels, no
Mm-mm.
uh oh, you sinned 10 times today
It's
already.
worse.
Like,
Right.
yeah, no, not at all.
Just
Like,
sees you, like, he sees
mm-hmm.
you and knows that everyone struggles. The Bible says all fall
Yeah,
short of the glory of God. So, like, nobody's perfect. We know
yes.
that different sins have different consequences,
Right,
but sin
yeah.
is sin. Whether you
Mm-hmm.
murder someone or you lie,
Yeah,
sin is sin. Like, we all need Jesus. And so,
yeah,
I love that. And so I just want to ask you to kind of end with this, like,
yeah.
so you're in this space now, right? Where you're like
Mm-hmm.
serving Jesus, you
Yes.
are fully in it, you are
Mm-hmm.
preaching, you are learning how to even step out in your calling. And that, like, I can't even tell you how much it thrills my heart to like watch you guys
Mm-hmm.
thrive. Like, I think this has been the highlight of my year, just like watching everybody
Aw,
step out.
yeah.
But in doing that, right? Like your
Mm-hmm.
whole heart, and I've asked so many of you guys this, is to impact your generation.
Yeah.
You said it, you're not up here to just be on the stage, you're not up here to
No.
like do this stuff. But like, what
No.
would you say to someone who feels like, how will I ever make an impact? Like, how will
Mhm.
God ever use me? Like, I don't have anything to offer. Like, maybe you did good, Alyssa, but like, not me. Like, what would you say to someone who feels like they will never get to be able to attain that?
So I will admit I felt like that once in my life where like the
Yeah.
Lord's never going to use me because I have nothing to give. I have nothing to offer. And that is a lie from the enemy. Like the enemy will feed you lies all day long, but it's what you give power to, right?
Come on.
And there was a point in life where obviously I gave power to that thought, but there was a moment where it just shifted and I was like, no, I'm not going to give power to the enemy anymore. And I realized that that's when the shift started to happen. Like I surrendered to God, I submitted to God, and I let him like have your way in me,
Yep.
like work through me. And there's we're all here for a reason, right? We're
Yep.
all here for a purpose, and he has a plan for all of our lives,
Come on.
whether it happens quick or
Mhm.
years from now. But just keeping that in mind and knowing that, like, just know that you will always have something to bring to the table. You always have something to bring to the kingdom because that's why you are here on this earth. Like
Mhm.
the Lord knew what he needed from you before he even created you.
Yeah.
So when the enemy tries to tell you you're never going to make an impact, shut that thought down
That's right.
because there you are going to make an impact there.
Yeah.
That's why I'm here. Like all you got to do is
Yeah.
remind the enemy, what
Hmm.
am I doing here then? Like why am
Yeah.
I standing here?
Come on.
Because you are going to make an impact. And like the Lord showed me that too. Like when I thought I'm never going to make an impact, he reminded me that you
Yep.
are. Like even if it's something so small, like
Yep.
when I started with the kids, he reminded me, look at how much of an impact you're making on these kids' lives
Yeah.
just by being in the back with them. You know,
Yep.
that's something no one really sees, but
Mhm.
these kids make you feel so loved and
Yep.
so
They look
like
up to you and they're like,
appreciated.
Teacher
Yeah.
Alyssa. Yep.
Yeah. They're just so excited that you're
Hmm.
back there.
Yeah.
And that's making an impact.
Come
That's
on.
showing that, you're doing something for the
Yep.
kingdom. And it's as simple as like giving someone a hug, giving a compliment out, like something, like
Yeah.
it can be as simple as that. And when I think our generation thinks it has to be something big, it has to be
Mm.
something like on the
Yeah.
stage or um viral for everyone to
Yep.
see, but it's not about that. It's
Mhm.
about what you do. Again, what you do when no
When no
one's
one is
watching.
watching.
Yeah,
Hmm.
that those are the times when you make an impact not
Yep.
only on their life, but on your life
That's
and
right.
to God too, you know, like it's just a full circle
Yep.
type of thing. Like,
Yeah.
but yeah, like
I love
it
it.
it you will make an impact and you
Yep.
are making an impact today,
That's right.
whether you believe it or not. And I'm sure the Lord will show you in time
Mhm.
how this moment right now, how much you
Yep.
made an impact on your life, on other people's life,
Yep.
and on Him.
Absolutely.
So yeah, like
No, I
never
love that.
feel like you're never gonna make an impact or you're not gonna make an impact. Like you are,
That's
yeah,
Come on,
God
girl.
sees you.
Okay, so you heard it from her mouth, right? It doesn't matter how you feel. It doesn't matter what you don't think you're good at. Like
Yeah.
she didn't think that God would use her too. And today
Mm-mm.
she's like stepping into her calling with confidence and like learning
Yeah.
how to do things she never thought possible. That is not just something because she's special or I'm special or certain people
Mm-mm.
get picked. That's just
Yeah.
surrender. When you just go,
Yeah.
okay, God, I'm just going to show up and use what I have, what I can. Like God will
Mm-hmm.
do more in you than you expect, but you got to catch that today that like He wants to
Mm-hmm.
use you. Listen, we
Yeah.
believe that like there's a generation of young adults and youth who are rising who are going to like
Yes.
completely transform
Mm-hmm.
church, completely transform their generation. And the only way you can do that is when you have a real relationship with Jesus
Yeah.
and you learn to surrender and say, God, I don't know what you want to do through me or with me,
Yeah.
but whatever you want to do, I'm here. And I guarantee you that some of you are going to have stories like Alyssa where you go, you would have asked me 5 years, I'd have been like,
Mm.
no. And then
Yeah.
today you're like empowering your generation to go, God's
Mm-hmm.
going to use you, you know? And so,
Yeah. And
um,
and
yeah,
it's
go ahead.
true. And I just want to add real quick that know that it's not going to be easy. Like he's going to call you to do something that you're going
Here.
to feel so
That's
uncomfortable
good.
and it's going to be scary and
Yeah.
you're going to think like, "No, God, not that one or not me." Like
Yeah.
pick them. They're better at that. But the truth
Hmm.
is like he wants you
You.
to do, yeah, he wants you to do
Yep.
like the uncomfortable and he wants you
Yep.
because he knows that you have it in you. The
That's right.
enemy's lied to you for so long, making you think that you didn't have it in you. And
Yeah.
I'm saying this from experience because the enemy told like lied to me so much, telling me that you'll never be able to talk on stage, you'll never be able to get up in front of a crowd and do this, like all these things, right? Because I was such a shy person, and again, I still am, but I've come out of my shell so much,
Yeah.
and it's by surrendering to God,
Yep.
literally, because only through Him am I able to stand up on that
Yep.
stage and do announcements, do preach a sermon. You
Yeah.
know, only by Him am I able to do this, and
Yeah.
that's like just know that when he tells you, oh, you're going to be doing this, and it sounds
Yeah.
totally out of your comfort zone,
Yeah.
know that that's exactly what you're
Hmm.
called to do because it's not by your strength, but by his. That's
Yep.
how you're going to do it.
Absolutely.
And yeah, I
And it
just
is
want,
uncomfortable, like,
mm-hmm,
it's a ner like, I remember joking with you, like,
yeah,
years before, like, "One day you're gonna get on the mic, one day you're gonna
yep,
do announcements, one day you're gonna come up with me and talk," and you were like, "No!" Like, we would even
yeah,
joke and be like, "Don't say that, Cleta," and I'm like, "I'm gonna
yeah.
say it anyway."
That was even like last year. She was telling me like late last year, like, oh, you're
Mhm.
gonna come up on stage and do an announcement. I was like, yeah, no, that's not me. That's
That's about
someone
me.
else, but not me.
Yeah,
But like she was probably hearing from the Lord that like, yep, she's gonna be up there one day. But
she's coming,
no,
she's coming.
yeah, like
Mhm.
it's gonna be uncomfortable, it's gonna be scary,
Yep,
but that's how you know that you're exactly where you're
yep,
supposed to be and doing exactly what you're called to do because
such a
nothing with
good word.
God is gonna be
Easy.
fun, yeah, and
Yeah.
easy. Like
No,
I'm
it's
I'm
true.
sorry, it's gonna be fun, of course, but it's
But
gonna
there's
be
moments
scary.
it's
Yeah,
work. It's not always just
yeah,
like sticky. Yeah, and I think that
yeah,
that's a great statement because sometimes we think when we step into what God wants, it's just going to be easy and I'm going to love it and I'm going to
yeah.
feel so comfortable. Like there
Mm-hmm.
were many times you got up and like shared or talked for vacation Bible school and it was like you
Yeah,
felt awkward and it was like
yeah.
nerve-wracking and you felt uncomfortable.
Mm-hmm.
And then you got up and started doing church announcements and you were like, I don't know, clean. But
Yeah,
like as you just kept being obedient, then there
yeah.
was like more. I'm sure even when you got up
Mm-hmm.
to preach that sermon, like there were nerves.
Oh
But
yeah,
then like right?
100%.
But then you did
Yeah,
it and you went, "Oh my God, like that was really cool." And I think that the
yeah.
Lord really used me. Like
And
sometimes it's that nervousness and you got to just get out of your comfort zone
push
and do it
past,
anyway.
yeah. And if I'm being honest, like I was extremely nervous,
Yeah.
like all day long, like thinking about it, making me nervous, sick to my stomach nervous,
Yeah.
but like I knew that again it wasn't going to be by my strength but by his, and I
Wow.
just surrendered that to him. And that's like I just want to encourage you guys to again emphasize that it's not going to be comfortable, and that's how you know you're doing what God's calling you
Yep.
to do because I feel that that fear and that uncomfortableness is what stops so many people from
Yeah.
walking into their calling, because they feel like, oh no, God, like not me. I'm not called to do this. And that keeps them, right?
Yep.
That holds them back from doing what they're actually called to do,
Yeah.
because the enemy lies to them and tells them like, you can't
Totally.
do that. You're not called to do that. Like,
Yep.
remember, you're shy. You don't talk in front of the stage.
Yeah.
Like the enemy wants you to think that.
Yeah.
But God wants to reverse that lie.
Break
He
that off.
wants, yeah, he wants to break that lie off of you. And
Come
the
on.
more you're obedient and the more you do it, no matter how uncomfortable it is, one, the more comfortable you're gonna get with it, and two,
Yep.
you're gonna realize like, I feel good doing this. And that's exactly how I felt after walking off of that stage. Like, although I was so nervous stepping onto that stage, the
Hmm.
peace, the joy, like,
Yeah.
I can't even explain to you all the feelings I felt walking off of that stage just
Yep.
confirmed that I did exactly what I was called to do.
Yep.
And that's exactly how you will feel. I guarantee you, that's exactly how you will feel
Hmm.
when you're experiencing that, when you're doing the thing that's like, I'm so nervous to do this right now, God, but I'm gonna
Yeah.
do it for you. And that's, again, ultimately we're trying to seek approval of him and satisfy him.
Yep.
As long as you're doing it for him, you will feel that after. And yeah, I just wanted to
So good,
encourage you guys
girl.
in
And I
that.
love
Yeah.
that. Like, I think people need to hear that. Your generation
Mm-hmm.
needs to know it'll
Yeah.
take some bravery. Sometimes you'll have to
Yeah.
do it for, I tell you guys that all the time. You're going to freak out, but you're going to do it anyway. Like, I say that to you
Yeah.
guys all the time. I'm not
Yeah.
going to sit there and lie and go, yeah, you're just going to feel great and you're just going to feel so confident and it's going to be so easy. I go, it
Mm-mm.
takes courage to step out. It takes courage to speak. It takes courage to go pray for someone. It takes courage to
Mm-hmm.
like step more into things. But the more that you take courage and be obedient, the more God will meet you. And so
Mm-hmm.
I'm just so proud of you. It has been an
Thank you.
absolute journey, a blessing to like run with you, to work with you, to now call you my friend, to
Mm-hmm.
get to be able to see you grow has just been so cool. And I know this is only the beginning. Like you'll
Yeah.
probably come back on the
Mm-hmm.
pod in a year and be like, oh, and this is all the stuff Alyssa's doing now.
Oh.
But again, like that's just the testament of when you let God in and you
Yeah.
surrender, He will use you. And so thank you so much for coming on. Thank you
Thank
for sharing
you.
your testimony and part of what God has just did over this last week with the message. Like I'm just super
Yes.
excited, and I know the best is still come yet to come, girl.
Yeah.
There's
Yeah.
more coming.
There's more
I even
coming.
sent some like pink pants and some more leopard coming into your
I
wardrobe.
don't know about the pink pants, but I'll
I'm
do a
feeling
pink
it.
shirt. I'll do a pink shirt, but not the pink pants.
I'll pray for that. I'll pray for that.
Mm-hmm. Pray
I'll pray
hard.
for that. I love it. All right, break the box. Well, I hope today you got some truth from a young
Mm-hmm.
adult who is just killing it for the kingdom and wants to empower you that you can do the same. It's not just for special people, it's for anybody who is a son and daughter of the Lord, and that is you.
Yes.
And so I pray today you will be empowered to step out of your comfort zone, not be
Yes.
afraid to serve in the hidden place, and know that
Mm-hmm.
even when you don't feel good enough, He says that you are and that you can do
Mm-hmm.
all things for Him. So have an
Yes.
awesome rest of your week. Thanks again, Liz, for coming on. Love you,
Thank
girl.
you.
And we
Love
will
you.
talk to you all next time.
Bye.
Okay, hang on for a second.